So howdy, Desert Boy here. I just wanted to check in today, and a while back I think I might have did a short on a revolver I had picked up or teased about it or something as a single action. And if I didn't, maybe I should have. Maybe I'll run one for this video. But I did pick one up, and we're going to take a look at it real quick. And what it is I've got this nice big Ruger case. They seem to like to make these giant cases nowadays. And we'll take a look in here to see what this is. I think some of you are aware that, I like the 45 Colt, so that gives you a little hint about what's in there. And, I had bought that 7.5-inch Blackhawk, I think it was at the end of last year sometime. And since then, before that, I had my 45 Colt Vaquero, which is a convertible. It's from 2018. So let's take a look at this one. 7.5-inch. I think I've been talking about starting to get into cowboy action shooting. That's a little bit of a long barrel they have to draw, so I needed to find something better. And we'll take a look here and see what I managed to find. So let's take a look. So let's take a look for a moment to see what's inside the case. We can see that the manual, which is a little hard to see there, is inside the case. And we'll put that up here. And what else comes with it? Well, you get your firearm, you get the lock, and you get another cylinder. Because this is not only in 45 Colt, but this RSR Distributor is also in 45 ACP, and it's a Blackhawk. So now we've seen what's in the case, let's look at the gun overall. We can see a very nice looking firearm with the wood laminate type grips. It's all in steel, kind of a brushed steel. You notice the 45 Colt cylinder is not only unfluted, but it's engraved, and then you have a fluted one for the 45 ACP. It's a 5.5-inch barrel, 46 ounces overall, about 12 inches long. So it's a pretty robust piece of craftsmanship, and it's a single action revolver. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out this is a Bisley or Bisley, some people call it, style grip, and the hammer, of course, is made accordingly as well. Just as a quick comparison, this is my 7.5-inch Blackhawk with the standard, what many people would call the plow-handled type of grips. You notice how much wider they are. They're made in a way where the recoil is absorbed differently with the Bisley. Many people prefer that. Some people feel like it comes more straight back and keeps the gun from the muzzle flipping up as much. But notice also how the trigger is made, the hammer is made versus the hammer on the standard Blackhawk. So those are some differences. I think you can see the sights are very similar, and of course this cylinder is a 45 Colt, but it's a fluted cylinder. But just to show you that difference between those. And I think, of course, this one's a little bit heavier. I can't remember. It's probably like 48 or 52 ounces. I can't remember. It's got the longer barrel. To do one more quick comparison, this is my 45 Colt Vaquero, the 4 5/8-inch barrel. Notice the front sights are different, as well as this is a medium frame type of revolver. It also is a convertible and has a 45 ACP cylinder, and it has the plow handle type grip. And notice that the hammer is also different than on the Bisley, but notice the difference in the frame size. And these will be the two guns. Tomorrow I will take the Bisley out to the range to test it for the first time, and in preparation for using these two revolvers for an upcoming match that I have. So just one other comparison. Of course, it's somewhat lighter. Once again, let's take a little closer look at the this Ruger Blackhawk. What a nice looking gun. You can see how it really fills the hand. And let's go ahead and check it unloaded. Okay, you can see that there's no rounds in it. We can close that up. You can see that there's no rounds in the 45 ACP cylinder. What's another nice feature about a Blackhawk? Well, they generally have adjustable sights, right? So that's the other thing I'll be doing at the range tomorrow, seeing how on the sights are. You know, it is a single action, and we have checked it empty. So when you pull back, you have to pull back the hammer in order to fire it. And the triggers are much lighter than in a double action, single action. This will not pull the hammer back when you pull the trigger. It's not designed or constructed that way. Nice looking gun overall. It's kind of a little bit washed out, some of the engraving as far as seeing the detail of it. That part's a little hard sometimes. So let's just look at it. There we are. You can see all that. You know, Ruger kind of has a habit of putting things underneath, which is kind of nice. They used to put it all along the barrel, and fortunately, they're not doing it like they were. And it says, read instruction manual before using firearm. Ruger, Newport, New Hampshire, USA. If I'm reading that correctly. And we can see on here up close, this says 45 caliber, right? So let me take this, let's take this cylinder out, which ought to be kind of fun for me. I always have fun trying to do that part. I'm not as used to single actions as I am double action, single action revolvers, but trying to get a little bit better at it. Takes a little bit of practice trying to get used to pulling the pin out of it, the cylinder pin here. Of course, it's not wanting to come out because I'm probably putting too much pressure on it one way or another. If it starts getting out of alignment there. Okay, Robert. Some of you might know what my other name is Desert Boy. Okay, we'll have to stop this here for a minute. 45 Colt cylinder out, and you can see the engraving. It says Ruger. It's got gun, Bisley Model. It's got some other engraving on it, right? Really nice engraving. And down here it's got somebody aiming their firearm, and just looks really nice. Bisley. And I think looking at the engraving, there is I think they have a date in here which says 1896. It says Ruger revolver, Bisley Model. It says 1896 inside of their logo, and it's got some other engraving and scroll work, and then it has the person that's shooting the pistol. So, you know, it's just kind of interesting to be able to look at that. I just think that looks so cool right there. You know, seeing all that. Personally think it looks really, really nice. And it's nice that they make one fluted and one unfluted, you know, so you can, makes it a little easier to identify the cylinders too. The other cylinder's nicely made too. You know, it's just, there's no engraving on it. And of course, if we put that in there, if we were to put that cylinder in there, you know, just hang on just a minute. We now have the 45 Colt cylinder in there, and we can see that it, excuse me, the 45 ACP cylinder in there. We can see that it's unloaded. So you can put 45 ACP rounds in here. It makes it, you know, kind of gives you an alternative. I know I did a video on, you know, what about single action for self-defense? You know, I think some people might, you know, might want to use the 45 ACP rounds for that. Certainly it would be, you know, you'd have the same round as you might be carrying in a, you know, your 1911 or your, you know, your Smith & Wesson Governor, or even, you know, your Bond Arms Roughneck. So anyway, just a nice looking gun. Now, coming up for the match I got coming up, I have a cylinder that I've been breaking in. Excuse me, a holster that I've been breaking in. And of course I will be using the 45 Colt cylinder in it. And this is just kind of a starter holster for me. It's a drop leg type. It's a triple K, you know, just something to kind of start out with. I also did get a cartridge belt, and I have a cross draw holster, which I've shown you before for my Vaquero. So with all those in mind, that's the Ruger Bisley, you know, Blackhawk. That's an RSR Distributor exclusive. I think it's a really nice gun. What I really miss, and I'll insert a photo in here, is that reason why I got this is I had, and I'll show you the photo here in a minute, I had a Ruger Bisley Blackhawk Doug Turnbull edition, color case hardened, that was in the blue type, 5.5 inch barrel with nice rosewood grips, and I sold that, and I missed that so much. When I finally got my other Blackhawk, I was really excited about that, but having the Bisley one again, I'm really happy about that. So I will show you a picture of that, and in closing, as Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. Bye now.